Hello, I'm Landon Schlungen, and today we're going to be looking at HTML on FreeCodeCamp. Hey, they updated their website, looks a lot better. We're going to be doing the Learn HTML by building a cat photo app, and we're going to be doing the HTML forms by building a registration form. So stay tuned and let's hop right into it. So cat photo app, let's start the project. Let's see what this is. Here's a preview of what you will build. Alright, cat photo app, cat photos, we have some links, we have some lists, and a form down here. So let's start coding. If this is your first time coding, this is an interesting text editor. Okay, index.html. Okay, so that's the file that we're working in. HTML elements have opening tags like h1 and closing tags like h1 with a / in it. Find the h1 element and change its text to cat photo app. Make sure that text is between its opening and closing tags. Here we have an h1 of hello world, and that's what's displaying here. And instead we want to change it to be cat photo app. So just change this, cat photo app, and look at that, we wrote our first line of code on FreeCodeCamp. Well, if this is your first time. I've done this a few times now, and the website looks a lot different, so I'm doing it again. Check your code, and it should be right. So there we go. Test, congratulations, your code passes. Submit your code to complete this step and move on to the next one. Submit and go to the next challenge. All right, step 2. H1 to H6 heading elements are used to signify the importance of content below them. The lower the number, the higher the importance. So H1s are the most important, H2 are the next highest, and then down to H6. Below the H1 element, add an H2 element with this text. So we'll go H2. We want cat photos and H2, like so. Try it, and it passed. Awesome. P elements is used to create a paragraph of text on websites. Create a P element below your H2 element and give it the following text. All right, let's go P and /P, and let's just grab this here. Let's see if I can just drag it in. No, I can't. I gotta copy and paste. Awesome. Control C, Control V. There we go. Awesome. Next one. I do not want to donate. Commenting allows you to leave a message without affecting the browser display. It also allows you to make code inactive. A comment in HTML starts with this and contains any number of lines of text and ends with that. For example, this is a comment. Add a comment above the P element with this text. All right, so we want to add it above here. So we will go like so, dash dash, and then we'll go dash dash like that. And you can see it highlights it green, so that's how we know that it's a comment, besides other things, obviously. And there we go, passed it. HTML5 is some elements that identify different content areas. These elements make your HTML easier to read and help with search engine optimization so that Google can find it, or people on Google can find it. Identify the main section of this page by adding a main opening tag after the H1 element and a main closing tag after the P element. Define adding main after the H1 element. So I'll go main, main, and end main. Main, and after the P element. So okay, so we want this to wrap around. Oh, by the way, I'm moving this with option arrow down. I think on Windows it would be alt down, but yeah, there we go. So now main is wrapping around H2 and P element, and that works. In the previous step, you nested the H2 element comment and P element within the main element. Indenting nested elements 2 more spaces than their parent elements improves readability. Yes, so we want it to look like that. Add 2 more spaces in front of the H1 comment and P elements so your HTML is more readable. So I will highlight this and add a couple. Oh, never mind. I can add tab. Is tab fine? Is that 2 spaces? I guess so. Awesome. So just highlight and hit tab. There we go. You can add images to your website by using the image element. Image elements have an opening tag without a closing tag. A tag for an element without a closing tag is known as a self-closing tag. Add an image element below the P element At this point, no image will show up in the browser. That's because we don't have an image source on it. There we go. HTML attributes are special words used inside the opening tag of an element to control the element's behavior. The source attribute in an image element specifies the image's URL, where the image is located. An example of an image element using a source attribute would be like this. Inside the existing image element, add a source attribute with this URL. Awesome. So let's add this one. We'll go source equals, and then we have to put quotes around it and paste. And there's our beautiful cat photo. Oh, so cute. Next, let's go. All image elements should have an alt attribute. The alt attribute's text is used for screen readers to improve accessibility and is displayed if the image fails to load. For example, this one fails to load, so then the alt will display a cat. So in this case, we want to display a cute orange cat lying on its back. So we will add the alt right here, alt equals, and make sure it's in quotes and paste that. And there we go. It works. You can link to another page with an anchor element or the A element. For example, A would link to FreeCodeCamp.org. A with an href of FreeCodeCamp.org would link there. Add an anchor element after the paragraph that links to FreeCatPhotoApp.com. So we want an anchor element after the paragraph. So we'll go A, and this one is not self-closing. So we will add the href here though. Href equals, and then we'll add the link here, which is https FreeCatPhotoApp.com. Add that there. Close the anchor tag and add the closing anchor tag. And there we go, passes. A linked text must be placed between the opening and closing tags of an anchor element. For example, A like this is a link with the text, click here to go to FreeCodeCamp.org. So here, click here to go to FreeCodeCamp.org, and we have to put that inside as the content. Add the anchor text cat photos to the anchor element, so right here, so that it will actually show up. Cat photos, and look at that, our link shows up, cat photos, and if I click on that, then it will link there. Normally it would bring you to another website. I like how FreeCodeCamp says that. Okay, just letting you know that it does actually work. It's just not. We don't want you to change pages. You can see the words cat photos underlined next to the image in the preview now. That's your link. Feel free to give it a click. In the text, your P element, turn the words cat photo into a link to there. So turn the words cat photo into a link. So we want to put the A tag around cat photos, like so. And we want that to be an href to the same website, which would be this one, I believe. Let's try that out. Sorry, your code does not pass. Your code should only contain one anchor element, so we actually want to get rid of this. I see. So now it looks like that. Click here to view more cat photos, and you click on there, and it should bring you to a different page. All right, add a target attribute with the value _blank to the anchor element opening tag so that the link opens in a new tab. So target equaling _blank will open it into a new tab, like so. So we'll go target equals _blank, like so. So then when we clicked on it, when we would click on this, it will open a new tab like this, and it will, actually go to that website. So let's try that. It works. Turn the image into a link by surrounding it with necessary element tags. Use this as the anchor's href attribute value. Turn the image into a link, so we want to wrap this in an anchor tag and have the ending here so that we turn the image into a link. So we'll go href equals this, and we'll copy that. Awesome. Let's try it out, and it works. Awesome. Step 15, before adding any new content, you should make use of a section element to separate the cat photos content from the future content. Take all the elements currently located within the main element and nest them in a section element. So take all the elements currently located within the main element and nest them in a section element. Okay, so we want to add a section tag here and a section closing tag here, I believe. Let's try that. Hey, it works. Awesome. Step 16, it is time to add a new section. Add a second section element below the existing section. Okay, so we want to add a section here and add the closing tag and try that out. Nice. All right, within the second section element, add a new H2 element with the text cat list. So we'll go H2. Oh, I wish that would work. There's no emit in FreeCodeCamp. We'll go cat lists like that and end with H2. There we go. Try that one out, and it works. Awesome. When you add a lower rank heading element to the page, it's implied that you're starting a new subsection. After the last H2 element of the second section element, add an H3 element with this text. Okay, so we'll go H3, and we'll add things cats love, and we'll end the H3 like so. Try that out. Works. Awesome. After the H3 element with the thing cats love text, add an unordered list, a UL element, so that stands for unordered list. Note that nothing will be displayed at this point because, yeah, we're just adding a UL element, nothing else, like so. Awesome. Now we got to put stuff in it, and we're going to add list items to it. Here's an example of list items in an unordered list, like this. So I'll just copy this, and then we want 3 of them. We want catnip. I'll tab this over. We want laser pointers and lasagna. I think maybe option shift will copy it down. So option shift arrow down copies it down. So that's a nice shortcut for you. And then you can do lasagna. Awesome. Try that out, and I think it worked. Yep. Go to the next challenge. Step 21. After the unordered list, add a new image with a source attribute value set to this and its alt attribute value as this. Okay, so for the add a new image after the unordered list. So after the unordered list, we want an image tag, and we want to add the source attribute equaling that, and we want the alt equaling this one. So we want the link to be in the source, and we want the text to be in the alt in case it doesn't show up. So just so you see here, if I remove a P here, then it says a slice of lasagna on a plate. So that's if it doesn't show up. There we go. The figure element represents self-contained content and will allow you to associate an element or an image with a caption. Nest the image you just added with a figure element. So we want the figure around this. Figure. All right, let's see if that works. Nice. And then we want to add a caption. So fig caption element is used to add a caption to describe the image contained within the figure element. For example, fig caption a cute cat. As the caption a cute cat after the image nested in the figure element, add a fig caption element with the text set to cats love lasagna. After the image, okay, so we'll go fig caption here, fig caption, and we'll end it. And then inside we want cats love lasagna. So we'll go cats love lasagna. Let's try that out. And it worked. Awesome. Let's see what it looks like. Just a little caption at the bottom. Emphasize the word love in the fig caption element by wrapping it in an emphasis element, which is EM. So word love. Emphasize that one. M and end M. There we go. Cats love lasagna. After the figure element, add another H3 element with the text, top 3 things cats hate. After the figure element. Okay, so we'll go H3, end of the H3 tag, and then inside, top 3 things cats hate. Like so. Try that out, and it works. Step 26, the code for an ordered list is similar to an unordered list, but list items in an ordered list are numbered when displayed. Yes. After the second section elements last H3, add an ordered list with these 3 items. Alright, so we'll go OL / OL, and then inside of this we want list items. So we'll go LI, and then close this LI. And then we want 3 of these, so we'll go Option Shift down 3 times, and then inside of these we want flea treatment, and we want thunder and other cats. There we go. Let's try that, and it worked. Awesome. Next, after the ordered list, add another figure element. So we'll go figure down here, figure next. Okay. Inside the figure element you just added, nest an image element with a source attribute set to that. So we'll go image src equaling this here. Copy, paste, and we'll close that up and see what that looks like. Okay, a few cats. Awesome. To improve accessibility of the image you just add an alt attribute. Yep, okay. Alt equaling this here. 5 cats looking around a field with a period. Let's try that. Works. Awesome. After the last image element, add a fig caption element with the text cats hate other caps. So we'll go fig caption / fig caption. And then we want cats hate other cats. There we go. Nice. The strong element is used to indicate that some text is of strong importance or urgence. It just makes it bold. Okay. Inside the fig caption you just added, indicate the hate is of strong importance. So we'll put strong around that. Alright. And it will make it bold. And I guess, yeah, there's bold there. Next. It is time to add a new section. Add a third section element below the second section element. So here we have the first section element up here, second section, and we want the third section underneath this, like so. Alright, nice. Inside the third section element, add an H2 element with the text cat form. So we'll go H2, we want cat form. Nothing too difficult here. Now you will add a web form to collect information from users. After the cat form heading, add a form element. So we'll go form / form. So we want to collect some user data. The action attribute indicates where form data should be sent. So we'll go action equaling this one here, this URL. And make sure it's in quotes. Paste that, try it out. Yep. Alright, the input element allows you to several ways to collect data from a web form, like image elements. Input elements are self-closing and do not need closing tags. Nest an input element in the form element. So we want input here as a self-closing tag, like so. That works. There are many kinds of inputs you can create using the type attribute. You can easily create a password field, reset button, or a control to let users select a file from the computer. Create a text field to get text input from a user by adding type of value text. So we'll go type equaling text, and that should work. There we go. In order for a form's data to be accessed by the location specified in the action attribute, you must give the text field a name attribute and assign it a value to represent the data being submitted. For example, you could use the following syntax for an email address text field: input type text name email. add the name attribute with the value cat photo URL. So we want name equaling cat photo URL. Okay, let's try that. Awesome. And our form looks like that. It's just a box we can type into. Placeholder text is used to give people a hint about what kind of information to enter into an input. So sure you guys have seen this before. Placeholder, it's just like a gray text inside of the text field. So in this case we want cat photo URL inside there. And there we go. To prevent a user from submitting your form when required information is missing, you need to add the required attribute to an input element. There's no need to set a value to the required attribute. Instead, just add the word required. So we'll just mark it as required like that. Nice. Use the button element to create a clickable button. For example, button click here creates a button with the text click here. Add a button element with the text submit below the input element. So we'll go button, we want text of submit, and then a closing button tag, like so. And that works, awesome. Even though you added your button below the text input, they appear next to each other on the page. That's because both input and button elements are inline elements which don't appear on new lines. You learned previously that the button submits the form by default, but you can explicitly add the type attribute with the value submit to make it clearer. Go ahead and do this to specify where this button should submit the form. So on this button we want to add type equaling submit. Alright, awesome. You can use radio buttons for questions where you want only one answer out of multiple options. Here's an example of a radio button with the option of cat, input type radio cat. Remember that input elements are self-closing. Before the text input, add a radio button with the options set as indoor. So before the text input, we want that. So we'll go input of type equaling radio, and then we want like that, and indoor for the label, I suppose. Let's try that. Awesome. Label elements are used to help associate the text for an input element with the input element itself. For example, label, input, and then you put that inside the label tag like that. Makes it so clicking the word cat also selects the corresponding radio button. So that's important to note. If you click on the label, then it will select the radio button. Nest your radio button inside a label element. So we'll go label and label back here, so, closing tag like that, and awesome. The ID attribute is used to identify specific HTML elements. Each ID attribute's value must be unique from all other ID values for the entire page. Add an ID attribute with the value indoor to the radio button. So we want an ID equaling indoor here. And awesome. Next, nest another radio button with the option outdoor in a new label element. So we'll go option shift down to copy this down, and then we want this to be outdoor. Outdoor, we want this to be outdoor. Outdoor. And I think that's all right. So let's try that. Nice. Notice that both radio buttons can be selected at the same time. To make it so selecting one radio button automatically deselects the other, both buttons must have a name attribute with the same value. Okay, so here we want to add name to both of these. Let's see if I can add two cursors. Yes, I can. So just hold down option while you click, and then you can add two cursors. And now, or I think on Windows it will be alt, and then or some other way. But let's add name equaling indoor, outdoor, like that, and awesome, it works. If you select the indoor radio button and submit the form data for the button is based on its name and value attributes. Since your radio buttons do not have a value attribute, the form data will include indoor, outdoor equal on, which is not useful when you have multiple buttons. Add a value attribute to both radio buttons. For convenience, sets the button's value attribute to the same value as its ID attribute. So, okay, so we'll go value equaling indoor, and then this one has to be outdoor. Let's try that. Yep, Awesome. The field set element is used to group related inputs and labels together in a web form. Field set elements are block level elements, meaning they appear on a new line. Nest the indoor and outdoor radio buttons within a field set element. Okay, so we want the field set here and an ending field set, like so. And don't forget to indent the radio buttons. Oh, I can indent that, I guess, like so. It doesn't really do much, but whatever. The legend element acts as a caption for the content in the field set element. It gives users context about what they should enter into that part of the form. Add a legend element with the text, "Is your cat an indoor or outdoor cat?" above both of the radio buttons. So inside here we want a legend and the ending legend tag. And then inside of that we want is your cat an indoor or outdoor cat? Question mark. Let's try that. Awesome. Let's see what it looks like. So there, like, boxes them in and asks a question. Next, you are going to add some new form input elements. So add another field set element directly below the current field set element. So directly below the current one, we want another field set element. All right. Awesome. Add a legend element with the text, what's your cat's personality? Okay, so we'll go legend, and then inside of that we'll paste what we had. There we go. What's your cat's personality? Forms commonly use checkboxes for questions that may have more than one answer. For example, there's a checkbox with the option of tacos, input type checkbox, tacos. Under the legend element you just add an input element with its type attribute being checkbox and have it be loving. So input, we want type equaling checkbox, and then outside of that we want loving, like so, and then we're going to probably wrap it with a label. Yep. First we want an ID of loving. Okay, let's do that first, and then we're going to wrap it with a label. Yep, label, and we want label here. Anything else? I don't think so. Yes, there is. Text loving should no longer be located directly to the right of the checkbox. What do you mean? You can nest the text within a label element and add a for attribute with the same value as the input element's ID attribute. So we need a for attribute inside the label, for equaling loving, like that, and place it to the right side of the checkbox input element. So okay, we just got to move this over here. Let's try that now. No, you're getting there. Should no longer be located. We want it to be on the right side. Yeah, it's on the right side. Oh, it has to be lowercase loving? Is that why? I thought it had to equal this ID. Only nesting the text loving in a label element and place it to the right side of the checkbox input element. It is on the right side. Label, label. What am I doing wrong? Please help me. Add a for with the same value as the input element's ID attribute. It is, right? Loving. For. What the heck? Do I need a slash here? No. Be located directly to the right of the checkbox. It should be wrapped in a label element. Make sure there's space between the two elements. Are you kidding me right now? Space? Oh my gosh. I just had to add a couple spaces. Add the name attribute with the value personality to the checkbox input element. Add a name attribute with the value personality to the checkbox input element. Okay, so name equals personality. Awesome. Add another checkbox after the one you just added, so do Option Shift down, and this one should be lazy, so we'll go lazy. I wonder if I can select this and do Control Command D. Oh yes, Command D. We want lazy here. Awesome. And then this one should be lazy as well, like so. Let's try that. Hey, let's go. Add a final checkbox after the previous one with an ID attribute value of energetic. Okay, so we want another one which is energetic. Option Shift down. We want Command D, energetic, and this should be energetic, like so. Hey, let's go. Cruising. Like radio buttons, form data for selected checkboxes are name/value attribute pairs. While the value attribute is optional, it's best practice to include it with any checkboxes or radio buttons on the page. Add a value attribute to each checkbox. For convenience, set each checkbox value attribute to the same value as its ID. So this is for the checkboxes. So here's the checkboxes. We want to add a value. So we'll go like so, and we'll add value equaling loving, lazy, and energetic. Let's try that. Hey, let's go. Step 60. In order to make a checkbox checked or radio button selected by default, you need to add the checked attribute to it. Instead, just add the word check to the input element. Make sure there's space between it and other attributes. Make the first radio button and the first checkbox selected by default. Okay, so first one of these. Let's just add checked here. Doesn't really matter. Checked. And try that. Awesome, let's go. Now you will add a footer section to the page. After the main element, add a footer. Okay, footer. Footer. There we go. Awesome. Nest a P element with the text no copyright, FreeCodeCamp. Okay, we'll go P. Let's copy this quick and paste it in. There we go. Awesome. Make the text freecodecamp.org into a link by enclosing it in an anchor element. The freecodecamp.org into an anchor. Okay, so we'll go anchor like this. And we want the href to be equaling freecodecamp.org. So let's do that. Let's try that, and it works. Awesome. Step 64, notice that everything you've added to the page so far is inside the body element. All page contents elements that should be rendered to the page go inside the body element. However, other important information goes inside the head element. Add a head element just above the body element. Yes, let's do that. Head and /head, like so. And let's move on. Oh my gosh, next. The title element determines what browsers show in the title bar or tab for the page. Add a title element within the head element using the text below. So we'll go title, title element. So title /title, and inside of this we want cat photo app. Cat photo app. Awesome. And there we go. Notice that the entire contents of the page are nested within an HTML element. All other elements must be descendants of the HTML element. Add the lang attribute with the value n, which stands for English, I believe. Lang equals n, and it should specify the page as English, yes. All pages should begin with doc-type HTML. This special string is known as declaration, ensures the browser tries to meet industry-wide specifications. Add this declaration as the first line of the code. All right, let's do that. We'll go like this, doc-type of HTML, and close it and try it out. Awesome. One more thing, you should allow people to use their native language. Tell the browser to encode multiple languages by adding a meta element as a child of the head element. Set its charset attribute to UTF-8. So inside here, we'll go meta, and we want its charset attribute, so charset equaling UTF-8. I think that will work. Yay, let's go. Here's a preview of what you will build. Okay, so this is the next part of it. I don't want to do this yet. This is learning CSS. I want to keep learning HTML. So we will go back to the curriculum. And we want to do, okay, so I thought I did all this. The heck? 92. Oh, wait, what? I have to do this one too? Okay, so I have to do step 92 as well. Wait, what? Wait, no. No, I want to do this one. Which one did I, 49? Field set element is used to group related inputs and labels. Nest the indoor and outdoor radio buttons within a field set element, and don't forget to indent the radio buttons. Okay, what? Thought I did this one. Am I good? Okay, I did it. Awesome. Okay. The next one is learn HTML forms by building a registration form. So, should I do that right now? Let's do that later. I'm going to end this video here for now. Maybe I'll come back in the same video and do it. Alright, let's continue learning HTML. Learn HTML forms by building a registration form. So let's do this one and start the project. Here's a preview of what we're going to build. I guess we're going to build this registration form and have a submit button at the end. So let's try it. Welcome to the registration form project. Start by adding the doctype HTML declaration at the top of the document so the browser knows what type of document it's reading. So that's easy enough. We'll just go, I think it's a tag, right? So we go like this, doctype HTML. Yay, that was right. Okay. Add opening and closing HTML tags below the doctype. So we'll go HTML and close that like so. Should be good. Next, add opening and closing head and body tags. So we'll go head and body like so. Should be good. Yep. Ask me later. Add a title element to the head and give your project the title of registration form. Also nest a self-closing link element in the head element. Give it a rel attribute value of style sheet and an href value of style.css. Okay, so we want to do a link tag here that has a rel equaling to style sheet, and it needs a href equal to styles.css. Add a title element as well, so we need a title here, and we're gonna give it a title. I think we put it inside the tag here as content of registration form. And let's see if that works. Yep, sweet. Alright, so that's what we just wrote. Within the body, provide a heading context for the content by adding an H1 with the text registration form. Alright, so add a title basically to the top of the page. And you can see it's starting to show up. Beautiful. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Registration. It's because I had a space there. Okay. Below the heading, use the following text within a paragraph element to encourage users to register. So let's copy that. And let's go P, paste, and P tag. Let's see if that works. Nice. To spruce the project up, let us add some CSS. Begin by giving the body a width of 100% and a height of 100 view height. So now we're in our styles.css file, and we want to give the body some styles. So this is CSS. This is different from HTML, and it will just style our HTML so it looks a little nicer. And we want to give the body a width of 100%. Whoops. 100%, and a height of 100 view height, and see if that works. Nice. Nothing changed because we didn't really change much. Also, by setting the body default margin added by some browsers to 0. Now get rid of the horizontal scroll bar. Okay, so we have a horizontal scroll bar by setting margin to 0. Okay, so margin to 0. Alright. So, sweet. Okay. That is better. Now make the background easy on the eyes by changing the body background color to 1B1. Okay, so we'll go background color to this one here. And I don't think that's in quotes. Okay, so that's like a dark black or a dark blue. Okay, we'll change the color to a white, I'm guessing. So we'll go hashtag F5, F6, F7. And there's our white color. Alright, see if that works. Nice. As suggested by the title, you are creating a form. So after the P element, insert a form with an action attribute targeted to register demo.freecodecamp.org. Okay, so underneath here, we're going to add a form element. And it's going to have an action on it. So we'll add an action inside the form tag, the starting one. So it'll be action equaling to this URL right here. So we'll just copy and paste that in there. Should work. Nice. Alright, step 11. Seeing as we plan on having 3 distinct sections to the form, add 3 field set elements within the form. Okay, so we'll go field set 3 times, field set, and then option shift down. Copy that down. And that works. Awesome. First field set will hold name, email, and password fields. Start by adding 4 label elements to the first field set. So we want to add 4 label elements. Okay, so we'll go label and the end label tag. Like so. Oh gosh, EL. And then option shift down 4 times. There we go. See if that works. Nice. Add the following text to the label elements. Okay, so we want to add this to the first one, this to the second one, whoop, and this to the third one. Enter your email and create a new password. So we'll add that. See if that works. Should work. Nice. Alright, as label elements are inline by default, they appear on the same line as the text they are labeling. To make them appear on separate lines, add display block to the label element and add a margin of 0.5 rem 0 to separate them from each other. Alright, so we'll go label. So we'll select all the label elements with CSS, and we'll do margin of 0.5 rem, so that's for X or for the Y, and 0 on the width, or 0 on the X, and display block will make it so that they take up a whole line by themselves, so that they won't be right next to each other. They'll be up and down like that. Alright, cool. Next one, nest an input element within each label. Be sure to add each input after the label text and include a space after the colon. Nest an input element within each label. Alright, so input after here, I'm guessing. And we want it to be and include a space after the colon. So we just need to add this to all 4 of them. Great. Paste, 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 and there we go. Should work. Yep, nice. Alright, specifying the type attribute of a form element is important for the browser to know what kind of data it should expect. If the type is not specified, the browser will default to text. Yep. Give the first 2 input elements a type attribute of text, and the third one of email, fourth of password. Alright, so here we'll go type equaling text, and type equals text, and then the next one is email, so type equals email, and the last one is password, so type equals password. Password. So now when we type in the password, it's just dots. It doesn't show the actual text. And yeah, it tells us that. All right. Never, whatever. The first input element with the type of submit is automatically set to submit its nearest parent form element. To handle the form submission after the last field set element, add an input element with the type attribute set to submit and the value attribute set to submit. So after the last field set, so down here, we'll add a input that's of type submit, and it will have a value equaling to submit. I think that's what they wanted. Value set to submit capitalized. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. At this point, you should be able to submit the form. However, you might notice not much happens. To make the form more interactive, add the required attribute to the input elements in the first field set. So we want to add required to all these. So we'll add more cursors with option, and we'll just add required to all of them, and that should work. Nice, awesome. Certain type attribute values come with built-in form validation. For example, type equals email requires that the value be a valid email address. Add custom validation to the password input element by adding a min length attribute of 8. So we'll go min length here equaling 8, and that will be in strings. And there we go, that works. With type password, you can use the pattern attribute to define a regular expression that the password must match to be considered valid. So this is a regular expression. It has to match that for it to be valid. So we want to add that as pattern. So we'll go pattern equaling this regular expression here, which just says it has to be A through Z, or 0 through 5, and 8 characters long, I think is what that's saying. So we can't have the above is that which matches 8 or more lowercase letters or the digits 0 through 5. Yeah, and then remove min length. So we want to remove this. All right, so let's try that. Sweet. Let us go to the next part of the registration form. This section will ask for the type of account the user is opening and will confirm the user has read the terms and conditions. Start by adding the 3 label elements to the second field set. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Label, add 3 of these guys. Whoops, and I also have to add a closing tag. Slash label, label. Sweet, okay. Option shift down a couple times. There we go. Users will be allowed to choose either a personal account or a business account. To do this, within each of the first 2 label elements, add 1 input element with type equaling radio. To do this, within each first 2 label elements, add 1 input element of type radio. Okay, so input of type equaling radio. And within this one as well, I think. Okay, let's just copy and paste this. Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna type it out. Put type equaling radio. Radio. And let's see if that works. Yay, okay. That's what they wanted. For the terms and conditions, add an input with a type of checkbox to the 3rd label element. Okay, so we'll go input type of checkbox. Checkbox here. And also make it required. Okay, required. So that they have to read the terms and conditions. Alright, so now we want to add the content into these labels here. I'm guessing they want it after the input. So we'll add that in. And I think that worked. Nope, sorry. You should give the first label text 1 space at the front. Okay, so we just have to add a space to these here. I think that should work. Nice, okay. You only want 1 radio input to be selectable at a time, however the form does not, so we need to add name and account type. So we'll go option on these guys, and we'll go name equaling account type, like so. Should work, nice. To finish this field set off, link the text term and conditions in the 3rd label to the following location. What? Link the text, terms, and conditions in the third label to the following. Okay, so we have to add an A tag to these so that it will link to it. And then inside this A tag, we have to add an href to this URL right here, so that when they click on it, it will take them to the terms and conditions. And I need quotes around that, I think. Oh, it worked anyways, I think. Wait, what? Yeah. Go. Next challenge. Why? Why you no work? Oh, I did have a quote around it, that's why. Oh, okay. Okay, why is this not? Okay, I'm gonna refresh, see if that works. Quote, add the end quote right here. Alright, sweet. Moving on to the final field set. What if you wanted to allow a user to upload a profile picture? Well, the input type file allows just that. Add a label with the text upload a profile picture. Okay, so we want to add a input of type file. Input type equaling file. And then we need a label with the text of upload a profile picture. So we'll go label / label and then upload a profile picture. Upload a profile picture and add an input. Yeah, okay. I think that should work. Nice. Add another label after the first with the text input your age years, then nested input with the type of number. Add another label. Alright, label with the text input your age in years. Alright, then nest an input with the type of number. So we'll go input type of number. Alright. And add the label tag here. As we do not want users under the age of 13, add a min attribute to the input with a value of 13. So min equaling 13. Also max of 120. Max of 120. Alright, I think that will work. Nice. Okay. Adding a drop-down to the form is easy with the select element. The select element is a container for a group of option elements, and the option element acts as a label for each drop-down option. Both elements require closing tags. Start by adding a select element down the two label elements, or down below the two label elements. So we want a select field here. Alright. And then inside we need a few options. So we want 5 of them. Option, like so, and 5 of them. Alright, I think that will work. Yay! Nest the select element within a label element with the text, how did you hear about us? Okay, so we want a label here with the text, how did you hear about us? And then we need to end the label. Alright, let's see if that works. Yay! The drop-down options are currently empty. To give them content, add the following text to each subsequent option element. Alright, so the first one will be select one. And then FreeCodeCamp News. FreeCodeCamp YouTube channel. FreeCodeCamp Forum. And other. Alright, let's see if that works. Did not pass. First text select one. I did. Did I not? And the following text to each option element. Yeah, select one. If I do this, it says select one. FreeCodeCamp News, yeah. Do I need spaces or no space at the end? Is that why? Did I add a space at the end? I might have. Let's try just getting this onto a single line. Let's try it now. Yay, okay, there we go. So finicky. Submitting the form with an option selected would not send a useful value to the server. As such, each option needs to be given a value attribute, without which the text content of the option will be submitted to the server. Give the first option a value of empty and the subsequent option value attributes 1 to 4. Okay, so inside each of these we'll add value. So we'll go value equals, first one is that, and then the next 4 are numbers 1 through 4. Alright, so we'll just go down the line. I think they might need quotes around them. We'll see though. And actually it works. Oh, but they add quotes around them. Okay. The text area elements act as an input element of type text, but comes with the added benefit of being able to receive multi-line text and an initial number of text rows and columns. Users will be able to register with a bio, add a label with the text, provide a bio at the end of the field set. Okay, so at the end of here we want a text area. Text area. I think that's self-closing. Element in with a label elements. We need a label element around it. Provide a bio. Provide a bio. Alright, and then end the label here. And then we need, oh, it does require a closing tag, actually, it says right there. Okay, so text area needs a closing tag. Make sure that / is in there. I think that's all. Yep, okay, sweet. Alright, the text area appears too small. To give it an initial size, you can add the rows and columns attribute, add initial size of 3 rows, 30 columns. Alright, so rows equal 3, calls equal 30. I think that works. Yeah, okay. Nice. To give campers an idea of what to put in their bio, the placeholder attribute is used. Placeholder accepts a text value which is displayed until the user starts typing. Alright, give text area a placeholder of I like coding on the beach. Placeholder I like coding on the beach, ... Alright, see if that works. Nice. With form submissions, it is useful and good practice to provide each submittable element with a name attribute. The attribute is used to identify the element in the form submission. Give each submittable element a unique name attribute of your choosing, except for the 2 radio inputs. Alright, so we want a name on each of these. Oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. On each of these inputs, except for the radio ones. So we need them here. We need them on this checkbox, this input. Alright, let's go name equaling. I wonder if it has to be unique. I'll just say my name. And we'll just go with that and see if they yell at us. Does it have to be on options? Or select maybe? Add a name. Name equaling my name. And on the text area, let's add it as well. See if it works, if it has to be unique or not. Let's try it. Yay, it works. Awesome. Sweet. HTML for the registration form is finished. Now you can spruce it up a bit. So now we're going to switch gears into the CSS portion so that it makes the form look a lot nicer. Start by changing the font to Tahoma and the font size to 16 pixels. Okay, easy enough. We'll go font family, because that's for changing font, and we'll change it to Tahoma, like so, and then make sure semicolon, and then we want the font size to be 16 pixels. And that should work. Yep, okay. Center the H1 and P elements by giving them a margin of 1 EM auto. Okay, so center the H1 and P elements. So H1 and P, select them. I think they need a comma. Yes, okay. And margin we need of 1 EM, so 1 M, which is about 16 pixels, and then auto, so that it centers it, and then text align center as well. Text align center. Try and center that. Yay! Alright, center the form element by giving it a margin of 0 auto. Then fix its size. Okay, so we want form margin of 0 auto. And then fix its size to max width of 500 pixels and a min width of 300 pixels. And then allow it to have a width of, in between that range, allow it to have a width of 60 view height. Okay. See if that works. It does not pass. You should give the form a width of 60 view. I did view height. Okay, view width. There we go. Hey, there we go. Nice. During development, it is useful to see the field set default borders. However, they make the content appear too separated. Remove the border. Okay, so we want the field set and we want to do border none on it, basically. So field set border of none. Alright, so that should get rid of borders. Be sure add a 2 rem of padding only to the top and bottom. So we want padding of 2 rem on top and bottom, and then 0 on the left and right. Yes, okay. So that's how you would do that. Nice, that works. To give the field set elements a bit of separation, select them and give them a border bottom of 3 pixels solid. Okay, so border bottom 3 pixels solid, and this color, which is probably grayish, if I had to guess. Yeah, dark gray. Nice. The border of the last field set element looks a little out of place. You can select the last element of a specific type using last of type CSS pseudoclass like this. This will select the last P element, create a new selector that targets the field. Okay, so we want P. Oh wait, last field set. So we'll go field set here actually, and then last of type. And then on this one, we want border bottom of none, so it's not on the bottom. Okay, that makes sense. And my face covers it up, so can't really see. But it would be nicer to have the label text appear above the form elements. Okay, yeah, select all input text area and select elements and make them take up the full width of their parent elements. Okay, so input text area and select, and I believe we just need to set width to 100%. Alright, I think that works. Also add a margin to the top of the selected element, so margin top and all other margins to 0. So margin top of 10 pixels and then 0, 0, 0. I think that works. Hey, let's go. Alright, for the second field set, you want the input and label text to appear on the same line. So now we're back to HTML. Okay, start by giving the input elements in the field set a class of inline. Okay, so we're giving them a class. Okay, giving the input elements in the second field set. So all these input elements, I guess. Okay, so this one, and this one, we want a class on them of inline. Alright. Oh, and did they already do the inline class? Oh, it's just, maybe they did, I don't know. Let's try it. That works. Alright, actually no, now we have to add the .inline selector. Alright, so now we're selecting all those input fields with this inline selector, and we want to give them a width of unset, and also, oh, that will just remove the width of 100% on them. And I guess now it looks a lot better now. Okay. Add some space between the inline elements and the label text by giving a right margin of 0.5 em. Okay, margin of right. So we want 0 on top, 0.5 on, or 0 on the left, or no, 0.5 on the right. So it goes top then right. Okay, 0.5 em, and then 0 on the others. So bottom and left. Okay. Yay. If you look close enough, you will notice that inline elements are too high on the line. Okay, I would have to look pretty close for that. To compat this, set the vertical align property to middle. Okay, that's easy enough. Vertical align, middle. Okay, that it just barely moved the dots lower. Alright, cool. To make the input and text area elements blend in with the background theme, set the background color to this and then give them a 1 pixel solid border with the color of that. Okay. So input and text area, I guess we want to select them. Text area, elements blend in, set the background color to this darker color so it's not white. It'll just look nicer. For A23. And then, okay, so yeah, it looks nice. And then a solid border, so border of 1 pixel solid and this color, so hashtag 0A0A23 as well, same color. And okay, looks good. Currently, if you type in the input or text area elements, you will not be able to see the text. Also, their height is too small to be easy to see. To fix this, we need to set the color to white, which is all Fs, and then min height as well on it so that it will show our text. So 2M. Okay, sweet. And now when we type, it's white text and we can see it. Awesome. You want the select element to remain with a white background, but now it is not getting the same min height as the input and text area elements. Move the min height property and value so that all 3 element types have the same min height value and the select element still has a white background. Move the min height property and value so that all 3 elements. Move the min height property. Min height. Where's our min height? Min height. Do we not have, wait, where is it? Oh, down here. Okay. Move that. All 3 element types have the same min height value. And the select element still has a white background. Okay, so we just have to move this up to here. That's all, I think. Let's try it. Yay, okay. It seemed a little bit more complicated than it was. Alright, to style the submit button, you can use an attribute selector, which selects an element based on the given attribute value. Here is an example. Okay, yep. The above selects input elements with a name, attribute, value, of password. Now use the attribute selector to style the submit button with a display block. Okay, so we want input type of submit, right? And it needs to be display block. Okay, so we'll go display block and a width of 60%. I'm sure my face is covering up what it's actually doing. I don't know what it did, but it works, so that's good. With the display block, the submit button sits flush against the left edge of its parent. Use the same technique used to center the form to center the submit button. So same technique to center the form to center the submit button. So what did we do with the form? We did margin of 0 auto. Okay, we'll just do that. Margin of 0 auto. Let's see if that works. And yes, okay, I think that's all. Nice. To make the submit button look more in line with the rest of the form, give it the same height as the other fields, 2M. Okay, so I'll give it a height of 2M. And we'll give it a font size of 1.1M. Font size of rem. Oh, rem. Okay. Sweet. To make the submit button appear more distinct, give it a background color of that and border color of white. Okay. So background color of hashtag 3B3, which is a dark gray, B4. F. Alright, and a border color of white. And that's for the submit button, which is down below my face. Looks nice. Lastly, for the submit button, you want to separate it from the field set above and adjust its width to never be below 300 pixels. Change the margin property to include 1M on the top and bottom. So we'll go margin of 1M on top and bottom and 0 probably on the other sides. Oh, wait, what? Okay, so we just have to change the margin from 0 to 1M here. and set the width as described above. So we'll go width, never be below 300 pixels. So min width, is that what it wants? Of 300 pixels. I think that's what they want. Yay, let's go. Most browsers inject their own default CSS properties and values for different elements. If you look closely, you might be able to notice the file input is smaller than the other text input elements. By default, a padding of 1 pixel, 2 pixels is given to the input elements you can type in. Using another attribute selector, style the input with a type of file. Okay, so we'll go input type of file. We need to give the same padding as the other input elements. So, okay, so padding. What is the other input elements? Padding. Padding. Input. 2 rem. Is it? We know. What do we give it? I don't know. Input select. Where's our padding, man? I don't know what you mean. With the type with a type of file to be the same padding as the other input elements. What do we use? Like 2M? I don't know. See what it says. Oh, a padding of 1 pixel, 2 pixels. Oh, okay. My bad. I was confused. Yay, okay. I thought it said something different. Speaking of padding, the submit button is sitting at the bottom of the form element. Add 2M of padding only to the bottom of the form. Okay, so padding to the bottom. So I can just do padding bottom, I guess. 2M. Hey, that works. Last but not least, change the text color of the terms and conditions link to this color. Alright, so it's pretty easy. We'll just go for anchor tags. We'll change the color to this this color here. And that works, nice. Alright, so that was that part of FreeCodeCamp. Let's go back. Yep, so we did learn HTML by building a cat photo app, and we did learn HTML forms by building a registration form. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you're so inclined, and I will make sure to read it because I read all the comments, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.